So today I'm going to be making some crab salad, and I'm going to be using the Holy Trinity, which of cooking, that is, not of religion. Don't get me wrong, but celery, pepper, and onion. I normally use red or green, but I don't have those today, so I'm just going to be using a regular old yellow onion. Um, I got some grape tomatoes, small shells, mayonnaise, milk, and all my spices for my dressing. And we'll be eating the salad with club crackers. They're always so good. It gives a little extra crunch and texture to the salad, and it's very good. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start boiling our noodles first. That way, while we're doing our other things, these can be cooking. And you gotta keep because you don't want to overcook them. You want them kind of al dente almost, but they're still kind of firm. But we're going to go ahead and start boiling our water. I got a small stock pot that I filled halfway with water. We're going to start boiling it, but first we're going to salt it as salty as the sea. Okay, that should be enough. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just stir that salt up in that water real good. That's my preference. I don't know if this is a need, but I always stir my water. Okay. So I'm going to put this down there, and then we're going to turn this on. We're going to start off at like medium-high heat and get this ball rolling. And we're going to boil our shells. And I found some shells that need to be used that there's not very many in the box. I'm going to use these with my small shells as well, so that they can be used and not forgotten about. Okay, we're going to start off with a medium mixing bowl and some mayonnaise. You can use any mayonnaise you want. I prefer Blue Plate and sometimes even Duke. So we're going to get a measuring cup and measure out a cup of mayonnaise. I'm hoping I have enough. I thought I had another jar in my pantry, and kind of found out I don't. So I'm hoping this is enough and I don't have to go back to the dollar store or something to get more. But I'm thinking I got just enough mayonnaise here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and empty the rest of this jar into this cup. I think that's all I have. It's a cup. It appears to be so. And I normally put a cup and a fourth of mayonnaise so that it'll be thicker than regular homemade salad dressing. I don't want it to be too thin. So we're going to get the remaining of our mayonnaise, and I'm going to put it down in here. Okay. I'm going to get this spatula here And I'm going to scrape my spoon off because I have made myself a mess trying to get down in that jar. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to get a cup of milk. I usually use buttermilk, but the buttermilk that I had was expired and I didn't want to use it in a salad dressing because I was afraid of bacteria. So I'm just using plain, regular old 2% milk. Okay. Now this is the cup, and I'm going to pour that in there. Let's see if I can get some more of this mayonnaise scraped out. Okay. Now, I usually use a whisk to do this because it's just easier to blend it better. But you can use a mixer if you want. But to me, that's just, I mean, it don't take much to mix this up. So you really don't need a mixer. But if you want, you could use one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just mix this up as lightly as I can without splashing it all over the place. Okay. I like to use buttermilk because of its taste and the thickness that it brings to the dressing. But since I don't have it and I don't have the gas money to go get it, I'm just going to do with my regular plain milk. So, okay, that's good and mixed. So now we're going to start adding all of our spices and herbs. So let's start by putting this milk up and out of the way. And this cup. Alright, I have roasted garlic. I usually measure by my heart and by taste. So I don't have exact measurements. If you are familiar with making salad dressings, go right ahead and put whatever seasonings you want in them. Okay. Our water is now boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and empty this box in. With this box, and we're going to get a spoon and stir. Okay. Now, you need to keep an eye on this because we don't want them to boil too long. We want them kind of firm. All right. And make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So I put in some roasted garlic. You can use regular garlic powder. I'm going to use some of this wood fire garlic as well. I like this Kinder's wood fire garlic. It has a little bit of everything already in it, including your salt. So you really don't need to add any salt necessarily to this dressing. But like I said, if you don't have this, you could use like regular old garlic powder or onion powder, just whatever you have on hand. If you even have like a Hidden by a Ranch packet seasoning, you can use that as well. because this is basically a ranch dressing. So I'm gonna put some of this in there. I love garlic, by the way. This garlic has salt, onion, garlic, some spices. It includes roasted garlic. Well, anyway, I like garlic, don't matter. Chili pepper, paprika, and some other things like rice, concentrate. I don't know some of these words. And smoke flavor. Well, it's got smoke flavor. And it's got paprika, but it don't have smoked paprika. So I'm going to add some of that in there as well. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and, well, this is not my open onion powder. Garlic. Here's onion. Okay. I gotta open another one. Okay. So I'm gonna just put some onion powder in there. Okay. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper. Probably close to 1/4 teaspoon, maybe. And a handful of minced onions. I really like these. They're easy and quick for you to use in case you don't have the time or the patience to cut up an onion. It's always nice to have these on hand. So I'm going to use about that much. Put it in there. I'm going to stir all this up. I got one more thing I gotta add. Almost forgot the key ingredient. Dill weed. Okay? I don't use the shaker. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just get me a handful, I measure out. Oh, this is probably a tablespoon or two. Just a little bit more. There. Let me check on my noodles that are about to overboil. Okay, I'm going to turn down this burner a little bit. They're almost done. But we're going to go ahead and just stir in our dill weed. Okay? And I'm going to taste this, but to make sure I don't need to add anything else. But in the meantime, after we get through making sure it's the way we like, we're going to put it in the refrigerator so that it can rehydrate some of those herbs and spices so that they will be better infused into our dressing. That's just good. Okay. It's good. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and let it chill. It will start thickening up again. And I will be right back for the next step. Okay, our noodles are done, so I'm going to go ahead and drain them and run cool water over them to help stop the cooking process. Okay, something I forgot to mention was whenever you drain your pasta with your colander, run cold water over it to help cooking, like I said, help stop the cooking process, because as long as that pasta is warm, it's still cooking. So what I did was I ran the cold water over my pasta, and stirred it occasionally, trying to get every bit of pasta that was in the strainer, colander, whatever you want to call it, um, so that it could become cool and stop cooking, because you don't want a soggy noodle in your salad. Okay, we're going to chop up our vegetables, and we're gonna need, since this onion is so small, we're going to use all of it. Normally, I would use maybe half, maybe a little over half, depending on the size of the onion. Like if it's a medium-sized onion, I will use just a little over a half. If it's a large onion, I would use half. But you use whatever you think you'd prefer. This is your salad that you want to eat, not mine. This is my preference. Okay, and this 3 stalks of celery, and we're going to half this, wash it first, half it and de-seed it, and we're going to use probably the top part and half of the bell pepper is normally what I do, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got it washed. So I'm going to show you what I do. I mean, a lot of people have different ways of doing things, but this is just my way. You don't have to do it. You got a special way you like, have at it. But for those who don't know or are unsure of how to go about doing this is what I do. I just see how easily this top comes off, just like that. So I'm going to go down in here like so and loosen up all this fleshy part that's holding the seed core inside, and just take it on out. Put it over here in my trash pile. Okay. Oh, I still got some seeds stuck to me. Alright. Let's pick up these seeds off of here. I don't know what they would taste like in the salad, but I imagine they'd probably be bitter. Okay, there we go. You can run this underneath some water and it would help get these seeds out quicker. Which is something I probably should have done and didn't do. Okay. I'm just going to get my knife and kind of rake that into my hand and knock it off. Be careful. You do what I'm doing, do not cut yourself. I wouldn't recommend it doing it at home. I'm just used to operating this way. This other knife. Right there we go. Okay. So I'm going to cut it in half. Just like so. Okay. There might be some seeds still left on here. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I like to do whenever I chop up a bell pepper. It's not a necessity per se, because, you know, there's different ways to skin a cat, figuratively. But I'm going to put the rest of my bell pepper in a quart-sized bag and save the other half for a later meal. Okay? Okay. So, what I like to do is get some of this white fleshy stuff off. And just like so. Do not try this at home the way I'm doing it. Get something. I mean, you gotta be real careful when you're using knives. But anyway, I usually get it. I'll cut it in half, and then I just barely scrape my knife against the surface of the pepper to get this off. You don't have to. It's just my preference. See? Okay. Come over here.
You want me to help you?
No, I'm making the video.
You're making a video, okay.
Okay, just like that. It's this way I like it to look. Okay? So normally I just get this and I cut it in a couple pieces. And then I cut up 9 pieces of it. Okay? Because some people don't like a big chunk of bell pepper in their salad. I mean, I don't really care either way, but if I'm the only one eating it, that's fine. But if there are others eating it, I'll just get in the habit of doing this method, okay? Look over there. Okay. Now I'm going to get them, put this over here, this other vegetable, so I have more room. Now I'm going to get them and I'm just going to go like this. Okay. Then I'm going to get them again. Break them into a pile. Okay. And I think one more again. Make sure, like some of these chunks right here, like this, get chopped up. Okay. So I'm gonna start. Okay, that's good enough. Now I'm gonna scoop these up like so. Put them on my plate over here that I have for my vegetables to be put into the salad. And I'll show you before I go on to the next one. I'm gonna show you how I usually chop up the rest of the bell pepper. I just make thin strips as I possibly can. Watch your fingers, don't cut yourself. You can always turn it face down, the inside down, and do this, flatten it a little bit. But I always start with these little curly ends, like this. And if I see one that's probably a little bit too chunky, I'll cut it in half. Okay, now that I got all those cut out, I just see. Just like that. I'm gonna finish cutting up these bell peppers and my onion. I'll be back to show you what size celery, or how I chop up my celery. This is personally my preference. If you have a better way, you do whatever you like. Okay, I finished chopping my bell pepper and onion. I just went ahead at the same time chopped my onion into this little ninja chopper thing. It's really handy. I like it. Just to save time. Anyway, we're going to chop up our celery. I bought these. These were like pre-cut where there wasn't a root or the head where it's leafy. That's what I like. I just prefer it. Don't ask me why. Just a kooky preference, I reckon. But anyway, I'm gonna cut the ends off of it because I don't want the ends. This has been washed. So, but we're gonna cut the ends off because they're kind of dry looking and I don't want to eat that. Okay, and this is how I cut my celery. I usually get it down here at the rib, on the underside of the rib. Put your knife down all the way through the center, like so. So this way there will be more celery throughout your salad and not just chunks here and there. So I'm going to do this to all three ribs of celery. Okay. And then I'm going to chop them up a little small. And I'll show you how. Since I got them all, halved. See? About like that, 1/4 of an inch maybe. Maybe a little less. Just like that. I'm going to get through chopping these and I'll be right back. Okay, now it's time to cut up the tomatoes. Let's get a little bit more here. Okay, so I got my onion, bell pepper, and celery all chopped up. I'm going to set them aside. And I'm going to probably just put the tomatoes right here that I'm about to cut up right there. And you say, well, why not you just put the whole tomato in there? Well, because I don't want to. If you want to, you can go right ahead. But I'm going to get a handful, somewhere between 10 and 20. What I usually like to do is cut these in half. Cut them up in fourths, sometimes just quarters. Well, fourth and quarter. Listen to me. Oh, good grief. Anyway, this is what I do. And I'll do it one more time. So I'll cut it in half. Cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. Just like that. And I will do that to, like I said, 10 to 20 tomatoes, depending on how big they are. And how many I want in there. But like I said, if you want the whole tomato in there, you go right ahead. This is my preference. But I'm going to be right back. Okay, Now it's time to assemble our salad. We've got our vegetables all chopped up. We got our noodles done. Now it's time to open the crab meat. This is imitation crab meat. I prefer it in crab salad. But anyway, it's very good. Well, we're gonna open this and break it apart because sometimes they have a hard time getting unstuck because they're kind of stuck together. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Uh-oh. There we go. Lord mercy. Sometimes I hate those resealable bags. Can't get them open. Alright. Just gonna place it down in there. Like so. And you see how it's just, see, I'm just gonna break it up. Like this. And then I'm gonna get my spoon and break them up even further. Like so. And I'll be right back. Okay, I got them broken up to nice little chunky flakes. And now we're going to assemble our salad by putting in our vegetables, noodles, and dressing. And I'm going to start off by using this spoon to scoop out this onion. Okay. And I'm just going to dump this onion in there. And then I'm going to get my noodles. And I'm going to dump them in there. Okay. All right. Now, I got those all in the same large container. And I'm going to get my chilled salad dressing. I don't know if you can say it. Hold on. My chilled salad dressing. I'm just going to stir it one good time. Okay? Because what do you do before you put salad dressing on your salad? You shake up the bottle, right? Well, this is me shaking up the bottle. So I'm just going to stir this all up. Make sure everything's mixed good. And then I'm just going to pour it over. If you have a spatula, it probably come in handy right now. This spoon is silicone, so I'm not really worried about that. But it'll help you scoop out all the dressing that may be stuck to the bowl. But that's my advice on that. But let's go ahead and stir this up. Make sure everything gets coated in that dressing. And I pray this is going to be enough since I didn't have what I normally use. But let's just stir this on up. And after you get through stirring it, you're going to want to put it in the refrigerator and let it refrigerate for about an hour or so to let it chill, and all that noodle and imitation crab meat and everything else will have a chance to kind of fuse together. If you have like a big social event and you need to take something for potluck, this would be a good dish, but I would recommend doing it the day before because we all know everything's better the next day because everything has time to marinate in all the seasonings and the flavors and taste of each ingredient. So I'm going to do this one good stir, and then I'm going to be putting it in the refrigerator, and I'll be back and let my beau taste it and see how he likes it. And I'm pretty sure he'll like it just fine because he loves the salad.
It tastes good. Baby doll, it tastes fantastic.